What's up, everyone? This is Charlie Maverick back with another Backyard Pitmaster podcast on this Sunday Fun Day live show. Hey, how's everybody doing out there? Hope you're blessed and highly favored like I am to be and ready to talk about all things grilling. Oh man, this is going to be a good one. And for you today, I hope you got your chips, your popcorn, you got your little beverage. Are you about ready to grill? Are you? All right, so we're going to help you out with some techniques. And I have a returning guest, the first returning guest of the podcast, where we talked about a whole bunch of stuff and movies. I don't even remember if we actually put that into the podcast, but we're probably going to get to that because there's a segue going to it. But Ben Bulman is back, and we're going to talk about, we're going to have this East Coast, West Coast love barbecue type of mess thing that we had before. We're going to keep that going. We're going to talk about some hot sauce. We're going to talk about techniques with some beef ribs, some pork ribs, some tri-tip, some chuck steak. We're going to talk about crispy wings. I didn't even know that there was a Jeff Dunham brand hot sauce out there. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to segue into movies because we're going to talk about an upcoming movie role for my homeboy. Before that, I'd like to thank you again for joining the live show on this Sunday. Please tell your friends, family, even your neighbor down the street that we're talking about all things grilling here. I would hate for somebody not to be educated, informed, and entertained, and they end up throwing some lighter fluid on the charcoal, Eddie Murphy's dad back in the day. You talk about on Delirious, and poof, blow up the whole backyard. Don't need to do that. But we're going to get you right today. Before we start off with that, follow me on Twitter at Charlie Maverick so you can hear all the shenanigans, backstories of how I prep for the show, photos of the barbecue cooks that I have, and talking to other people in the podcast and tech industry. And if you like to support the podcast channel, because this is brought to you by the Mavcast audio blog family of podcasts, please go to that link at anchor.fm /the Mavcast /support. Oh man, sound quality is getting pretty good. Restream is doing this thing. I hope you like this new format that we're giving to you on a weekly basis. You might be kind of fooled a little bit by the live show type of thing. A little bit inside baseball. Sometimes I pre-record it. So if you don't see me on the live chat, I'm probably outside cutting grass or something. But anyway, still join the show and talk with your boy. And so let's get to one of the people that you should visit while you're in the Charleston area, because that's where I'm from. And I always big up my homeboy and family at Daddy's Girls Bakery in North Charleston, South Carolina. Charleston Chew. Dude, they got M&M Charleston Chewies. If you never had Charleston Chewies in your life before, let me paint a picture for you. So you ever had a blondie at Applebee's? Yeah, get that out the window. So yeah, Charleston Chewy has this nice nutty type, caramel type of blondie flavor. And let's say you want to put some ice cream on top of that, like some vanilla ice cream and then some syrup on top of that. Oh, I hope you're not diabetic, but I'm just saying it makes life a whole lot better dealing with the whole shenanigans of the world if you got your sweets. And get your sweet fix while you're in the Charleston area at Daddy's Girls Bakery. That's my homeboy. We grew up together. Great family, great business, support local business. Because in the pandemic, what we found out in the pandemic is that we should always pay attention to local business, because the conglomerates, they always be up to something. You never know if they caused any of the world events, the Coke, all that stuff, all that Coca-Cola stuff that happens. Yeah, anyway, so we are about to bring in Ben so we can start talking about tech. No, damn, tech? No, I have a tech show too. Sorry about that. We have to talk about barbecue. He's going to laugh at me when he gets on. All right, so let's bring in Ben. All right.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm
doing good here.
I have too many podcasts.
Me too.
So speaking of that, your main podcast is the Angry Dad podcast, which it's very motivating. You have a lot of motivating words. Great use of profanity, by the way.
Thank you. I strive to do my best.
I'm always a person. I remember back in the day, in grade school, where I was known for making up curse words, like phrases, compound curse words, and all that. And I've always used to have recess detention because I was trying to show off my expansion of my vocabulary, and the teacher was always somehow behind me, and they're like, "Yes, Charles, you're going to detention." I'm like, "Fuck."
So no recess for you.
No recess. It made me appreciate recess. Detention sucks. It's like quarantine. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
Yeah.
Locked up. Everyone's outside having fun except for you.
That's right. Man, so what you been up to since we last talked?
Doing the same old, just like everyone else. We're still suffering, the semi effects of the pandemic. So, just concentrating on doing stuff around the house and, trying to keep my health up. And, one thing I'm always doing is barbecuing. So it's like, it's usually on an almost every other day basis where I'm grilling something.
Oh man, that's life. That's a good life balance right there. What type of setup do you have in your area where you grill? And is it something that is kind of like a feng shui and it gives you good vibes?
It's weird because in my yard, because I have my formal living room and then the family room. And in the family room, I have a sliding glass door. So as soon as I open my sliding glass door, right to the right, it's like a little spot where I have my barbecue, my smoker, and it has like an outlet. And so I can actually plug everything in, get everything done because, my pellet smoker is electric. I have a propane gas grill. So as soon as I walk out, I can turn on the propane, turn on the smoker, get it prepped in the morning, have my coffee, and I can literally watch it from my kitchen counter while I drink my coffee and get the day prep. Because, the majority of us that barbecue or smoke, we start early in the morning.
That's right.
So as I get my first cup of coffee in, the smoker will get ready. And then it's like I said, I literally slip on my house slippers, open the door, and boom, I can start just hitting it right away.
So how long have you had that type of setup where it's got a very functional and what the thing that you try to get to is to have something that's very functional that doesn't add stress to your cook, because adding stress to your cook, you get a bad product. So how long have you had that setup?
I've had this set up for the smoker and the pit boss that I have now. I've had it for about a year now. But I used to have just a standard charcoal grill. And like I said, that little corner has always been nice because, like I said, there's an outside outlet, everything there. So I'll always just walk out and do it. And then too, when I'm smoking a barbecue and I got to close all the windows to the house on that side. Otherwise, it's going to, you already know, it wafts right in. You know what I'm saying? The whole house smells like smoke and then you get in trouble.
Oh, I think it was 2 or 3 Thanksgivings ago. I had one of those charbroil oilless turkey fryers.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're awesome to do turkey in. And I was like, yeah, it's raining, blah, blah, blah. And I put it in the garage, had the garage door open. The wind that day was opposed to my plans, and it blew the smoke in the house. And eventually, by the time our family members came over, the smoke alarm went off. Yeah, I get it. Totally know what that.
Exactly.
So how has that changed your whole vibe and flow of how you grill? Has it drastically improved and made like the prep, the execution, and the shutdown kind of more seamless?
And this is the thing too, is like I'm always used to secondhand barbecue pits. I've never really treated myself before when it comes to like owning something like that, because I'm like, I just get what I can get.
Right.
And I spent the money and I bought something this nice. And once I bought it, it's 100-fold, because what it is I don't have to deal with it. There's no tricks. I got to stick a lighter in there because the igniter doesn't want to start. You know what I'm saying? I literally just turn it on and go. And that right there in itself is just one of the easiest things to do, because it's a big event to get the queue going, get everything started. But when you can literally just walk out, press a few buttons, turn on the gas, that right there is stressless. Because you know what I'm saying? I don't know how many times I'd have to be out there and the covers are falling apart. The barbecue pit's barely stringing together because it's so overused.
Right.
And and then you're worried, you got to make sure you clean it real good. It like all,
or you have a flare up.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So when you can literally go out there and I'm religious with it, about once a month, I go in my barbecue pit. I hit it with this like degreasing foam. wipe it all down on the outside, and then I go into the pit. I put my rubber gloves on, scrape it all down, rub it,
Oh,
and
legit.
yeah, and then you get the shop vac,
Whew.
shop vac the whole
All right.
inside out, and then what I'm saying, because that right there in itself, that little monthly care will
Yeah.
not just make your pit last longer, but it'll make your cooking experience easier.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think a lot of people get to the point where they go through like a number of grills like every 2 to 3 years because they don't maintain their grill.
Yep.
And they at least cover the grill so it doesn't rust out in bad
Yep.
weather. Yeah, I mean, for what I found, and a lot of okay, I'm lazy for one. So a lot of what I love about pellet grills and the convenience of a propane grill, I'm just at the end of the day too lazy for the long term to break that thing down, degrease it, and scrub it. I'll probably going to be those ones. As much as I love barbecue, I'll probably be the ones that go through the grill every 2 3 years because, I mean, well, the element's not working. All right, cool, let's go. Yeah. So,
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, does that take a lot of time, or do you kind of like have a process flow because you do it every month that it kind of is like
Oh
you're
yeah.
running on
Well,
autopilot?
I usually throw it in like a usually I always pick a day. It's either Saturday or Sunday. I go in the backyard. Like I said, you mow the lawn, you
First,
blow the yard, what I'm saying, get all the stuff cleaned up, trim the trees, the bushes, all that stuff. And then
first.
I throw it in at the same time. What I'm saying? It's like I already have a full day out here, no shirt on, beer in hand, and it's cleaning and it's cleaning the whole yard, and so it looks nice, it feels nice. And then when you can actually sit down at your deck table, or like I got a patio table,
Mhm.
sit in my nice little reclining chair, and then the whole yard is cleaned
Hold
up,
on, you got
clean
a
as
reclining
shiny.
chair. Oh, you sure
Oh
off that?
yeah, oh
Oh,
yeah, yeah. Come on, man. You got to just lay back, a nice cold one,
yeah, man.
umbrella open, sun beating down on you, and everything sparkling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You painted a picture just now.
Oh yeah, yeah. But that's what you got to do, though. What I'm saying? If you don't paint that picture in your head when it comes to do that thing, there you're like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to
Right.
get there. No, no, no. You get it all clean, you get it all set up, and then boom, you get to relax and have that little picture perfect backyard.
Yeah. Hmm. So I like how but I think I'm still too lazy to do that. But I do commend those that go through that process. I mean, ugh, the reason why I keep the Weber kettles at the forefront of the grills that I use is because it's so low maintenance. You just sweep the ash out, dump the bin, and keep on going. Maybe once every 10 to 15 cooks, I'll take the wire brush and make sure that I scrub it down real good so the added on grease doesn't cause flare ups.
Oh yeah.
I don't have to take anything apart. And look, I am not that good at unassembling and putting things back together. So with my luck, I'm more than likely about to break this small little pin or part that really makes the thing work while I'm trying to clean it, and then I'm like, oh well, look what you did, dummy. Now you have to. This clean is more expensive than it's supposed to be. I got to replace a part. I got to get a whole new grill.
Oh yeah, see, I'm the exact opposite. I'm extremely handy, and I can fix anything on the fly. So I can get anything started, and so I've always been pretty blessed with that ability.
Good. So because of what we just talked about, I need everybody to be self-aware of their limitations and make the appropriate decision. All right, so we're going to talk about grilling techniques, about going along with a few different type proteins. We're going to start off with, I think, the one that you love the most, and it's the tri-tip. In the show notes, I'm gonna be honest, I was a little inebriated last night when I was refining the show notes to this, and I sent you over a couple of typos. It's supposed to be tri-tip in there, and it's tri-pit, and I'm like, I don't know what happened. But we're going to talk about techniques
That's
of try.
autocorrect right there.
It's so bad it doesn't even autocorrect it. So, all right. So, can you talk us through the process of how you prepare and execute the cook of a tri-tip, because it's a particular set of techniques that you use Whereas other techniques, you're going to have a really bad product. I don't do tri-tip. Well, I actually never did tri-tip. But that's the one I think you cook the most often in terms of types of steak, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Tri-tip is a weekend steak. It doesn't take very long to cook. You can actually cook it extremely fast. But the thing is there's it's you got to sear it and then you got to let it rest in low heat. You got to indirectly cook it. Once you get
Right.
that nice golden color, you take it off the side, put it on the low end, and then you just let it do its job. Because the thing is with tri-tip, it is an extremely tough piece of meat, and it,
Mhm.
it will it will absolutely like turn tough on you without you even paying attention to it. Because as soon as you take your eyes off it, but the thing is, it used to be an extremely cheap piece of meat.
Yep.
Now it's no longer. It's quite
Right.
yeah. I used to be
Probably
able to get
YouTube.
yeah. We used to get a man. I remember like $15 you eating all weekend with a piece of tri-tip. Now it's like almost like $40 a tri-tip for a nice big one. And
Do you think is that like the normal inflation, or is that going along with kind of like the
that
inflation of
that
meat because of COVID?
yeah, it's me because of COVID. You know what I'm saying?
Ah,
Tri-tip has always been the go-to. You know what I'm saying? And the thing too is like when you cook tri-tip,
mhm.
if you can, you marinate it overnight. You put oil,
Hmm.
and then you put your seasonings, you mix it up, leave it in the refrigerator, give it that overnight, because that overnight it'll saturate, and you can never go wrong with plenty of garlic. I'm talking
Oh,
about you.
never go wrong.
Yeah, never go wrong. Plenty of garlic. There's all kinds of seasonings, but why can't I remember the name? It's Papays. Um, I can't remember the name of it, but we have a couple of different seasonings out here that we like to use. I remember it being spelled or said Papays. It's just a
Hmm.
red cayenne, paprika seasoning. You throw it
Okay.
on there, you let it soak, and then boom, you're good to go. So as soon as you're ready to cook, like I said, you get the pit as hot as you can get it. You
Hmm.
cook it on that. You like I said, literally just you're getting the color. You put it
Yep.
off to the side, and then for those who know, you can always look at for those who cook tri-tip, you can easily look at it and know when it's done and when it's not done. So like a lot of times I'll just give it a nice little touch, and if it gives me a little bit of give, I pull it right off. But a lot of times for people who want temperature, you're looking at I'm gonna say 135. You want to pull out that internal temperature, take it out, because then you're going to get a medium in the middle, because it'll go up 10 degrees as soon as you pull it off and let it rest. And
Ah.
you have to get with tri-tip, you have to give it that rest, because as soon as you slice it open without resting, it dries out, because all the juices that were in it are going to be all over your cutting board, and it instantly pours out as soon as you slice it open. It's
Wow.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Every bit of that juice, and by the time it cools down enough to where you can eat it, it's dry and tough. So you got to give it that rest time. You know what I'm saying?
So
Like
how
you
long do
like
you rest it for?
um, I'll do a minimum of 30 minutes at the
30
most.
minutes.
You know what I'm saying? Like 30 minutes to 30 minutes is a good rest while it's still hot.
Uh-huh.
45 minutes, you're getting it where it's actually like you can just have it on your plate and eat it with your fingers. Because the majority of the time, that's how we eat it, with some tortillas, your fingers. You know what I'm saying? You add on whatever little side dishes you want, because tri-tip goes good with everything here. Out here, tri-tip, you literally,
I've
you know what I'm
seen
saying?
it.
You can put it in a hot dog bun, put it in a hamburger bun. You can, like I said, tortillas, potato salad, green bean, whatever you can
Oh, hold
cook.
on, hold on. Wait a minute. Potato salad. Hold on now.
Oh
Wait.
yeah,
Oh, did you just put potato salad on steroids?
oh yeah. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
You got
hold on. You
to.
give me an idea now.
That's what I'm saying. Like you can, like there's so many things. You know what I'm saying? And
Wow.
then, and on top of it too, what's even better too is after you cook the tri-tip and it's done for the day, and all that leftovers, guess what? You
Right.
chop that up into small pieces and you got taco meat. That's just,
Boom.
you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
You're getting that next day tacos. Like, oh, I don't want to cook. I don't want to do it. And guess what? Use that leftover tri-tip, chop it up. And
Taco Tuesdays.
I'm telling you right now. And if you throw oil in a pan for the next day, you chop it up real fine, you throw it in there, you literally just got crispy bits of meat.
Oh man, yeah. You know, I wish I could find tri-tip around here. East Coast is not where
Yeah,
it's prevalent at
it's weird
currently.
because like as soon as you leave California, there's no such thing as tri-tip.
Yeah, right. I've never heard of tri-tip until I went on a rabbit hole on YouTube. I'm like, oh, well, I wish I can get it. Kind of like picanha too. You can't find picanha
Yeah.
around here. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Can't I mean, to ship everything else. So
Yeah.
what's up with that? I don't know.
Oh
But
yeah.
okay, so you're saying that you can use this thing multiple ways. So just eating it regular, using it for later meals. I think a lot of people don't do two things. They don't realize, for one, we're going to back up to the whole letting it
Yeah.
rest. I think a lot of people don't understand the concept of letting your meat rest after you take it off and what the benefits are. Because, you got a whole bunch of people over and you're trying to get food on the table. And it doesn't matter if it's like, whatever you have, like a brisket that you're cooking long, low, and slow,
Yep.
or let's say a tri tip, or even a ribeye, any type of beef, for that matter, if you want to say that.
Yeah.
The benefits of letting that juice kind of redistribute in there, because they're like, well, we're hungry. How long more is it going to take? Wait, you got it off the grill? Wait a minute, I got to wait another 30 minutes? Then they're
Yeah.
questioning your knowledge about it, but they don't know really,
No, they
and
don't.
they don't know. And I think that's one of the flaws of restaurants, like barbecue restaurants. I've been to
Oh
a
yeah.
lot of them and tasted a lot of them, and I think that's what they don't let happen long enough, because they're just trying to push product out there, and they don't let the juices redistribute. The other thing is, I don't think people are realizing that when you barbecue stuff, you can use that for more than just one meal. You can use that for tacos. You can use that for a crispy snack later,
Yep.
I know a lot of the times I grill sausage, and it's not even for me to eat by itself or on a bun. It's for me, like, I like ramen noodles. I put that in my noodles, and
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you put barbecue meat, any type of barbecue meat in ramen noodles, it'll change your life. But yeah, those are a couple of things I think people don't realize. Um, which is the benefit. They like, okay, I got to eat it all now, or I have to eat it as it looks when it comes off the grill.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's great. What type of charcoal do you use when? Well, you use the Pit Boss
Oh
pellet
yeah, yeah.
smoke,
The
right?
pellet, yeah. I right now maple bourbon is my favorite cut of pellet that I'm using right now. I do have I just got the Cabela's competition blend pellets, and they're doing pretty good. They it's a maple pecan that I'm using at the moment, but usually
Okay.
maple bourbon is the way I go. But the maple pecan right now is it's got a good flavor. It's got a good clean smoke too to taste. There's no aftertaste. There's no like sometimes when you smoke, you get that hint of burnt of
Yeah.
in the flavor of the meat, and you don't get that with this right now. But if I do use charcoal, Kingsford is always the only way I'll go. Kingsford
Yep.
cooks evenly, distributely, and it's very timed. You know what I'm saying? Everything else will burn out. Everything that I've used that's not been Kingsford charcoal literally just eats up so fast.
That's so true. And I talked about this on the podcast, the last one that I did solo, and I ranked my favorite charcoals. And for consistency, which you really need to master a technique, you need that consistency of Kingsford. I
Yep.
like B&B lump charcoal.
Yeah.
It's so inconsistent,
Yeah.
and it's expensive.
It gives you
So
hot spots so bad.
yeah, because the pieces are never equal, and
Yeah.
that's probably because you get the uneven distribution of heat is because the pieces are not the same size.
Yep.
Which yeah, it's yeah, and then I like Royal Oak. That's my third one, but as you were alluding to, that Kingsford doesn't crumble up as fast.
Yeah.
The Royal Oak just goes away like the dust
Oh
really
yeah.
quickly. It gets you hot and fast, hot and faster
Yeah.
than Kingsford, but it just disintegrates too quickly.
It
I think,
does.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's awesome. And how long typically does it take the indirect method to bring it up to temperature?
Well, it doesn't take very long. You're gonna probably spend maybe about an hour 30 if you're really trying to milk it. You know what I'm saying? But it usually cooks extremely fast. But also too, you got to do a covered method. As soon as you get that tri-tip going and you get that get that color. You got to put it off the side, close the cap, and then just trust the work. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said,
Trust the word.
as soon as you lift it up, there goes your heat, and then now you're wasting more time. You know what I'm saying? That's one
Right.
of those things about barbecuing is sometimes you can't look at it.
Right.
You just got to be like, all right, I know I need a lot this set amount of time, and with that set amount of time happening, I just got to let it do its thing, not bug it. And then, when you're like, all right, cool, it's just about that time, let me check it. And then you give it a quick check. And then for experienced barbecuers, you can literally open it up, look at it. Okay, this amount of fat's rendered out of it, this amount of juice, it's dry on top. I need to flip it. And then you just make that judgment call from there. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times this is all like literally skill
Yep.
and the foresight to know what meat's supposed to look like when it's cooked. By you getting those reps in and cooking, you can literally just look at meat and be like, oh, okay, now it's time to flip it. Oh, now it's time to pull it off. Like, okay, I remember it looking like this way and it was perfect like that last time. Let me yank it off. And you just through that trial and error, you can, without even doing an internal temperature, for most people do, check that temperature.
Mm-hmm.
I commend you for, getting precise perfection. But the thing is, barbecuing is a technique and skill that you can literally just be like, all right, that meat's done. Let me yank it off.
Right. Yeah. And that probably comes from repetition for
Yeah.
doing it. Yeah. I kind of, because I don't cook steak, and I wasn't always a good barbecue person.
Well, that's how we all start.
Right, I sometimes, and I try to do it for consistency. I mean, I can look at a steak at this point because I cook ribeye so much. I can look at it and say, okay, because what I do is a reverse sear most of the time.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like a crutch a little bit. It's kind of like what, I don't know why this term is on YouTube, but it's kind of like they say it's the redneck sous vide, whatever.
No,
Yeah,
nothing wrong with a reverse sear. Let me tell you right
yeah,
now, because you know what though, when you cook this, you know how you want your steak. You
yep.
cook it that way, but you know
Mhm.
what I do love is a crispy outside on a steak. And
Yep,
you know what? When you're cooking it, all that fat and all that moisture is rendering out, so it instantly
that's right.
makes the outside soft. So a reverse sear is it's one of those things that like I like this crispiness on the outside of my steak. So guess what I'm going to do? A reverse sear. And
Yep.
that's what most people should be doing when you're grilling a steak. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I used to do the reverse, and it's so wildly inconsistent because the fire's never the same temperature. If I try to eyeball it when it gets to, because I like my steak medium, when it gets to about maybe 135, I'm I lied, maybe 125. I'm like, okay, so let me like put a little, butter on it, and then let me put it on the flame real quick so I
Yeah.
get those grill marks. And if you do that, what it usually comes up to is about 135, 139 ish.
Yeah.
And you can take it off right then and let it rest and come up to the rest of the temperature for that medium.
Yeah.
Or you can just set it to the side if you take it off the heat too early, because you never know, the fire might be hotter, especially if
Yep.
you're doing a charcoal grill. It
Yeah.
might be drastically harder than the last time you did this.
Yep.
So just to be the safe side, you put it back on the indirect side. Yeah. um, do you trim up your tri-tip in a certain way? Do you have to like trim a lot of silver skin off, or is it what you
Well,
usually get is how you cook it?
oh yeah, no. I with the silver skin and everything on a tri-tip, I never cook it off or I never trim it off. Unless it's like a real thick one, I will. But the majority of the times out here, when you get a tri-tip, it's pretty well trimmed. It's like there's like a standard of tri-tip out here where people like you can't put that out and people will buy it. You know what I'm saying? So like you might
Right.
have some fat ends, you might have a tiny bit of silver skin, but the majority of the time it comes per out here, it comes extremely trimmed. Some people, like I said, they're very particular. They're like, nope, no silver skin, no fat on the outside. They trim it all the way down to you. I never do that. I always just get it, marinate, throw it on there, and then because of how I'm cooking it and how I'm getting that it done, it literally just cooks it right off.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, because I would assume that they give you a pretty good, pre-trimmed product before, since it's really popular in that area. And it shouldn't be really drastically mass-produced to where you have to do like where you get probably like a ribeye or T-bone. and you probably got to cut a lot of that edge off because
Yeah,
it's silver skin. Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
exactly.
And it's a larger piece of meat usually. It kind of I, I mean, I've seen pictures of it, so it kind of reminds me of something like how a tenderloin would be shaped and cooked,
Oh
but it
yeah.
just has those smaller ends. It's not the same thickness all the way.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It'd be like almost like a tiny like a tiny brisket. You know what I'm
Ah,
saying? Because like it has the ends where like those part are always well done, but the center parts are what you're going to be your medium to medium rare in the middle, depending on how people like cook. Because like my kids, like I said, for like my daughter, well done. My mom, well done. But me and my wife, we like medium. You know what I'm saying? My boys,
yes.
they like medium and rare. So like you're literally getting these different dimensions of of doneness. I'm like, all
Right.
right, these ends are for you guys. The rest, what I'm saying. And a lot of times too is like when I chop it up on my board, I display it, and then once I display it, the kids just grab, everyone just grabs the pieces that they want.
Yeah, that makes life a lot easier. I like that. Do you think that chuck roast is a good substitute for brisket?
Chuck roast is not a good substitute for brisket, but it is a good substitute for burnt ends.
Ah,
If you want to make if you're gonna make like I love burnt ends. Burnt ends are one of my favorite parts of the brisket.
mhm.
There's the place out here. His name's if you get a chance, it's Bacon Raider on Instagram. He was right here. He started his business right before the pandemic hit, so unfortunately he closed down. But
Oh man,
he used to make these things called bacon wrap briskets. I'm talking about he
what?
cook the brisket, and then dice it into cubes, like big chunks too, like at least 2 inches by 2 inches.
Uh-huh.
Wrap it in bacon,
Oh
smother
man,
it in a sauce, and then smoke it again for a ridiculous amount of hours. And then when
Jesus.
you bite it, it just instantly melt. Everything would be crispy on the outside, but as soon as you put it in your mouth, it just disintegrate with flavor. And so I've always been
Oh man,
recreating his bacon wrap brisket, where I'll literally just get the chuck roast,
yeah.
I'll smoke it, let it rest, chop it up, and then I'll make those burnt ends. Because let me tell you right now, if you're gonna make some burnt ends,
Oh man,
don't waste. Don't. I'm not saying you don't need to buy a brisket, but if you
it's
want to make it
expensive.
quick, yeah, exactly, exactly. And then you're gonna have all this meat, just for a small portion of burnt ends that you want. So if you're gonna make burnt ends, go with the chuck.
I think that's what people love most about brisket, but they just don't realize it. They see the stuff on TV about the flat and they how they
Yeah.
slice it and all that, and like, oh yeah, that looks so good. And they slice up the point and they're like, oh,
Mhm.
that looks so good. They squeeze the juice out of it and all
Yep.
that. But man, I'm telling you, burnt ends is where it's at. I
Yes.
I tried it
Yes.
one time and I'm like, haha, well, this is like meat candy. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
literally, it's just so much flavor packed in there, and then because of the bark on it, it's like, oh, people understand like a lot of times when you get people that are inexperienced with barbecue, they're like it's burnt, it's
Right.
it's all charred up. I'm like, no,
Nah,
that
that's barbecue.
that is the gold right there.
Oh man. And I think people are kind of predisposed to make judgments off of appearance based on what they see on TV
Yeah,
because on TV,
they
you know,
doll it up.
yeah, they doll it up, but it's not. Brisket doesn't have that dark bark color. Usually, they
Yeah.
want to make it look all shiny and nice. Even on the cooking competitions, they don't get it super dark. But if you go to like Texas, you you're gonna get brisket in Texas. It's
Oh
gonna
yeah.
happen. It's gonna be pitch black on the on the surface,
Yep.
but it's not burnt.
It's not
All
burnt.
that
Yeah,
is
that's
is
all flavor.
sugary, savory goodness.
Yep.
Oh, and the burnt ends are
Damn.
nothing but that sweet, savory goodness. Oh my god.
Makes
Yeah,
me hungry. Makes me want to make. Hey,
yeah.
I was planning on barbecuing something else. Now all of a sudden I want burnt ends.
Well, you talked yourself into that because you talk about bacon burnt,
Yeah. Oh
dude.
man, the bacon wrap
Oh, come on.
he. I would go. Like I said, every weekend, Saturday morning, Sunday morning. Me and my wife go to the gym, and then like no kids with us. And he like by the time we get out of the gym, he would just be opening for lunch. We'd walk in there because he was always Order once he sold out, shut down. Shut down. Nope,
Yeah,
nothing
that's what
being
I'm talking
sold
about.
today. Exactly. So we get in there nice and early. We'd buy some of the bacon wrap brisket, and then he would also do this candy bacon. Oh, smoked
Oh,
candy bacon. I'm talking about it. It just smothered in brown sugar, and it's just literally just like just a bacon candy stick.
I'm gonna steal that and sell it around here. I'm sorry.
It's
You
all
know,
right. It's all
hey,
right, brother.
if you let me know exactly who the dude's name is, I'll give him his props. But I'm stealing that.
Oh yeah, no, go for it, man. Because I've tried to recreate it so many times, and it's just like always just a tiny bit off. I'm like, God damn it.
You know what I come to find out? Part of it is the device you use. It's something about the. It's like a. You know how you have a technique down packed, but you can't replicate it like somebody else does, and you just
Yep.
can't figure out why. You got the seasoning right, you got the cut of meat right, you got the butchering right, you got all that right, the temp, the length, everything, but you just can't get that last mile of
Yep.
flavor. You know what I found out, and it's something as simple as like chicken. What I found out is it actually depends on the smoker that you use. A lot of these people that have businesses like that have like these big
Yep.
drum smokers or a big offset smoker,
Yep.
and it's a stick burner more than
Yeah.
likely.
Yeah,
And
that's exactly what he got too.
you just can't replicate it with
Nope.
anything else.
That's
Man,
it.
ah, damn,
Oh, man.
damn, you got me hungry, man. So, oh, man, I gotta get off this. Yeah. Whew. So, so beef short ribs. Um, I like beef short ribs. I don't cook beef short ribs often. For one, they got rinky dinky like small ones around
Yeah.
here, and it's they charge too much for it for the portion that you get at least
Yep.
around here. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I want those big dino size that I see.
Yes.
Like, man, why do you have to entice me to to eat something I can't really get unless golly, how much do I have to pay to get this source from somewhere? You know what I
Let me
mean?
tell you right now, beef short ribs are like just I always like we have a Winco close to the house.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's about 45-minute drive. And so the majority of the time I always do a lot of my shopping here within the area that I live in. But
Yeah.
I'll make that 45-minute drive and I literally just go out there to buy meat. I literally will go out to this Winco and I'll buy a whole bunch of tri-tips, a whole bunch of steaks, a whole bunch of carne asada. I'm talking about I just
Mm,
bought like 10 pounds of ground beef, um,
wow.
uh, pork butt, pork shoulder, chicken breast, chicken thighs, ground turkey. I'll go out there because it's so much of a dramatic drop in price at that store that like I literally go there, fill up my freezer, and I'll start. And every so often I'll pull out that good piece of meat because, like I said,
That good
I
one.
go to buy the family, but then I'm doing the shopping.
Right.
I'm gonna get the things that I like too. So you know what
Right.
I'm saying. So
Exactly.
I'll get a couple of flats of beef ribs or the beef short ribs, and then and the way I like to cook them, just salt and pepper. I'll
Uh-huh.
throw them on the grill and get them as crispy as I can get them. I'm talking about the crispier, the better. I literally almost want it to be like right before beef jerky.
Ooh. Okay. Wow. Beef jerky is awesome, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely is. My wife makes it. She dehydrates and makes it here at the house all the time for us.
Oh man. Now I'm hungry for beef jerky. Thank you. Thank you. So, uh, what type of sauce do you put on these short ribs, or do you put sauce at all?
I'm always a dry rub person. I do like barbecue sauce, but if I'm gonna have that kind of barbecue sauce, it's usually just with barbecue chicken.
Uh-huh.
But no, I usually don't do any sauce. Just like I said, with beef ribs, salt and pepper is the way I'll always go with just beef short ribs because, like I said, it's got the little bones and it's like you're just nibbling on it, and by cooking it the way I cook it, just like I said, like I'll probably throw a little avocado oil on it and with the salt and pepper,
All right.
but I like that just the flavor of the crispiness and the oil and the meat when it pops out. You know what I'm saying? It's like
You make
the
these people
taste
hungry,
of
man.
that fat. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's the taste of that fat when it's rendered down and cooked that way so the fat's crispy, it's just nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like that perfect flavor to me.
Ooh, I'll be going to the store later. So speaking of ribs, let's move to pork. And I think pork is maybe I mean, after steak itself, pork ribs are probably the most barbecued meat in America,
Oh
I
yeah.
believe. Yeah. People go to you, ribs will make or break your barbecue
Oh
joint.
yeah.
Yeah.
That
If
they
you
will.
can't make ribs, you shouldn't do it,
Yeah,
right?
you shouldn't be an opening a place. If your ribs ain't on point, you know what I'm saying? That's just like you said, it'll make and break you because that's a judgment point. People
Right.
love, when you go to a restaurant, people don't take the time to make perfect ribs. And when you make
No, they don't.
perfect ribs, oh my God. My
Yeah.
kids don't realize how good they have it because I'll make ribs and
Hmm.
then I don't like that. I'm like, what? You guys would eat the steaks, you guys will eat the chicken, but you guys won't eat these. And I'm sitting there like just eating a whole rack of ribs, me and my wife. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Oh man. Yeah. That's what it's all about, and everybody has their little technique of how they make ribs, whether it's baby backs or spare ribs or rib tips.
yeah.
Um, I don't. There's a million and probably more than a million YouTube videos on how to cook pork ribs. Everybody has their way and say right, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong. They're like, okay, I take the membrane off, I don't take the membrane off, I put sauce on it, I don't put sauce on it. I cook it hot and fast, I do a 3-2-1 method. I wrap it in foil, I wrap it in butcher paper. I'm like, come on, people, come on, what are we doing here? You put
Eh,
mustard on it as a binder. Yeah, don't put mustard. And people are like, but mustard doesn't have flavor. And other people are like, yeah, it does. I'm like, just everybody chill out. Everybody just sit down, just have a beer and chill out. And let's talk about, there is a lot of ways to cook ribs. Just can
Oh,
we just agree upon that?
oh yeah, no, we definitely agree upon that because there are so many ways ribs
So
can
many.
be done and so many different avenues to cook ribs. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I think, but the one thing I will say is the worst way I've seen anybody do ribs is boil them.
You know what?
I never could understand that.
You know what? That's a cardinal sin. I'm
It
glad you
is.
bring that up. I've seen this done many of times, and I've actually done this myself because I didn't know any better at that point in time in my life. But why in the hell would you boil ribs and then put it on the grill for char?
Exactly. And I've seen it.
What?
Like I said, I've walked into like friends' houses, like, oh yeah, we're barbecuing, and they're pulling the ribs out the pot. And I'm like,
I don't want that shit.
you could have just called me. I could have came over and I would have just cooked. You know what I'm saying?
Like, yeah, you would have been better just putting that thing right over the flame. Try
Yeah,
not to burn it, and then wrap it in foil and hope for the best. Dude, do
exactly.
not boil. People do that with chicken too. I found,
Yeah.
and I'm
Oh
like,
yeah. Oh man, let me tell you right now. I don't know how many times I've been to somebody's house and they're and like I'm Mexican, so when you tell me what time to show up, guess the fuck what? I am an hour early. Period. That's just how it goes. So when
right,
I show up to friends' houses and people's places and I see them getting ready to start cooking, I'm like, well, first of all, you fucked up because an hour before anybody gets here, the majority of this stuff should be done.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And so when I pull in and I see like boiled chicken come out the pot and they're saucing it up, getting ready to throw it on the pit, I'm like,
Ew.
what?
There's no flavor
What?
in that.
No, there's not enough barbecue sauce in the world to make that not dry.
You already cooked all the moisture out of it.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Now it would have been fine for a soup.
Yeah, exactly. You make chicken broth. You know what I'm saying? Oh, but I swear, like it just blows my mind. Like when people just start like, like, well, I don't want to get. I was like, then cook it right, practice.
That's all you
Just,
gotta do.
what I'm saying? We all start young. You know what I'm saying? I remember the first time I barbecued anything, it tasted like lighter fluid.
Right. Oh God. Yeah. Sometimes, blue moon mistakes happen to everyone here and there. And yeah, sometimes you're in a pinch, you gotta use lighter fluid, and you're like, well, y'all kept rushing me.
Yep.
I didn't let this thing ash over long enough.
That's it.
I'm like, that's your
That's
fault.
it.
You know? Yeah. And I hope that like teaches people like a lesson like, hey, you rushed me. It tastes like that because you were rushing me. Ugh. Ooh, people try not to use lighter fluid for God's sakes.
Telling you.
Yeah.
Telling you.
I mean, as we have agreed upon prior, there's a place for everything in the universe. But
Exactly.
if you have to use lighter fluid, let the blue smoke come first.
You know what I'm saying? Let it burn over, and then once it's burned, guess what? Then you can you distribute your coals and then start cooking.
If you still smell lighter fluid in the air, it ain't ready yet.
That's it at all.
Because if you smell it in the air, it's going to absorb in the meat still. That's just basic science. I don't know.
That's it. That's it.
So do you I know we talked about this before because ribs is a common
Oh yeah.
conversation, but I can't remember. Do you take the membrane off?
Nah, no membrane, but I do scar it though. Like right at the bone in the back. I'll run my knife right down it because I like it to shrink up and then you get that nice little crispiness in the back.
Right. Yes. I've tried that. It didn't work for me. Something about it, and it's all personal preference when it comes down to it. To be honest,
Yeah.
some people are really like the smallest little thing they can pick out, and they're like, well, what'd you do that for? Like if I didn't take the membrane off, like if I have 4 people in a room and someone actually, whoever knows like is really particular about that, they'll complain about it, and then everybody else just was like, well, I'll eat around it, you know. And other people are like, hey, I didn't taste any of the membrane. I'm like, what? Oh, you like that? Okay, all right, cool. So it's all down to preference,
Oh
but
yeah.
at least you score it. Other people I've seen don't, and it's a chewy power mess when you
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But that's one of those things is I always like right at the end, like I said, I'll let it get real hot in temperature because I like that crispy outside. That's just
right.
always my thing. I like it to be soft, but I like that little crunch
Right.
when I'm cutting it, it's like you know what I'm saying?
Yes, candy like.
Exactly.
Yes. You know what I've found to do that if you don't use sauce, and people are very particular about sauce
Oh yeah.
versus no sauce. What I found a happy median, even if I don't use sauce, make everybody happy a little bit. I get like a candy type, finish on it.
Oh yeah.
I don't put it over the direct heat to get it like crispy per se, but if I have enough time, this is what I like to do. If I have enough time, I've woke up early in the morning, or if something has to happen early the next day, I've cooked it overnight and then I
Yeah.
let it sit. But when I wrap the ribs, I line it with butter and then brown sugar,
Oh yeah.
and then just that. And after I unwrap it, once it's cooked, while it's wrapped long enough, I take it out of the wrap, put it in like a foil boat so it doesn't like mess up the grill and all that.
Yeah.
And I just let it sit back in there for about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how hot the grill still is. And then I cut it up. Oh, I take it off, let it cool down. Then
Yeah.
I let it go into the fridge while it's still in one piece.
Yeah.
Take it out after lets it sit in the refrigerator, and I then cut it up. And two things happen. What I found, and I've tried this like 4 times. It turns out great every time. It's easier to cut.
Mm.
You get nice even slices, no tears on it. You can even
Yeah.
use a serrated knife, and it'll still go through like butter, and not tear
Oh
it.
yeah.
And then while it sits and it forms and the fat congeals and all that, and that all that comes to the top, what happens is there's a candy finish on it. You can take your nail and scrape it and nothing's going to come off. Not
Yeah.
a bit of anything is going to come off because the rub that you use, and I always have to use Malcolm Reed's The BBQ Rub to do this.
Yeah.
Only that one works with this. I got to put that out there. And you have to heavily coat this thing. It's not heavy with salt, but you have to have a heavy coat on this thing. and you wrap it like I said and let it sit for a while. And man, I'm telling, and it tastes like it has sauce on it, but it has no sauce because it tastes like candy. And when you heat it up, it still gets a little, it still has that little crisp on it, but it's
Yeah,
not as crispy as if you would have put it directly on the flame when you're finishing it. But yeah,
that sounds
found that
good.
most people like that, even if I don't have sauce on it. So yeah. And how about rib tips? Hmm.
I love rib tips. You know what I'm saying? They cook extremely quick.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And like I said, that's one of those ones where I'll cook it hot and fast, so I get that nice crisp. And then when those are ones I will sauce up because when you eat, it's a finger food.
Yeah.
It's just
That's
a
right.
finger food. It's just what it is. What it is. You ain't eat with a knife and fork, just like ribs. You're picking up that rib tip and you putting it in your mouth. I use the Kinder's extra hot.
Mm.
I'll grill it up, dunk it in the sauce, take it out, put it back on. I'll do that 2 or 3 times to get a nice thick coat on it. So when I pull it off, it's like just like you said, it's gooey. When it's gooey
Yes.
like that, and you're just like, "Yep,
Candy.
that's it."
It's kind of like the burnt ends in a way, you know.
Yeah,
It gives me that same type of euphoria, you know. You pop it, and then you're like, "Damn, I feel guilty for eating this. Huh, I'm good. I'll deal with this tomorrow. I'll work out a little
exactly,
bit harder."
exactly. I'm like when you laid up on the couch, like, "Oh, why?" But it was so good.
And we're talking in the pre-show about the pre-cut ones versus the ones that you do yourself. And I
Oh yeah.
actually talked about this in a previous episode of the podcast too. But all right, so have you had the pre-cut ones before?
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah. No, when they go on sale, I'll buy them. But a lot of times it's a gamble. You
yeah,
don't know if you're getting a shitload of bones or if you're getting a good amount of meat. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
yes.
you get that 50-50 where you're like, when it's at good enough price, I'm more than willing to throw that gamble out there. You know?
You know, sometimes it actually looks and feels like just for the sake of getting a perfect cut of a St. Louis, they cut a little bit of the bone off, and that's where that bone comes from. You
Yep.
shouldn't have like a you should, I mean, if you cut it yourself, you shouldn't have much bone at all.
Yeah.
You know, because it's the tip, and you're
Yeah.
cutting above the bone. So how the hell the bone get in there, man?
Exactly. But and that's when you start getting that back part of the like. It's just so weird because it's like there's so much cartilage and so much
Right?
bone in there. You're like, why?
Yeah.
You know
Why?
what
Why?
I'm
Why?
saying?
It's not even
Makes no
like.
sense.
Yeah, I did it the first time. I smoked them low and slow and get them candy. I was trying to replicate again something Malcolm Reed was doing. You
Yeah.
know, I watch a lot of Malcolm Reed, but it's. I'm like, man, I can't even eat this thing. Like 80% of it was bone and cartilage.
Yeah.
Oh, all right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I said, it blows my mind sometimes. Like I said, it's always a gamble unless you're cutting them yourself.
Yep.
You know what you're getting, but at the same time, like how easy is it to walk in the store like, oh, rib tips, and they're like, like almost $1 a pound. All right, let me get a pack there.
You're almost just better buying the whole spare rib and then learning how to trim it up yourself and have you a nice cut of St. Louis. You can take off the both ends of the bones
Yep.
and then use that for stock or something later. Never
Exactly.
know. And then cut you some nice rib tips. And then hey, guess what? You cut your price in half because by the time you buy that whole spare rib versus a St. Louis cut and the pre-cut rib tips, you probably pay too much.
Oh
Just get
yeah.
the whole spare rib and learn how to butcher. I'm just saying,
Exactly.
man. I'm telling you, whew, I'm never making that mistake again. Even in a pinch, I'm like,
Yeah.
either I'm cutting myself or we're not having them.
I'd say we're eating pork twice this week.
That's right. I'm just saying. So what about this Kinder's Black and Rub? What do you use that on?
That right there is a universal rub to me. Um, I love a peppery smoke spice. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? It's something that's very flavorful. I'll literally use it on anything. I'll put it on my burgers. I'll put it on my ribs. I'll put it on my steaks. I'll put it on fish. It's something that is my style of flavor. You know what
Gotcha.
I'm saying? The only other one that the original blacking flavor I used was McCormick's. McCormick
Oh,
sold
yeah.
blacking and or blackened. That's what it's always called. I always call it black. I don't know why I say it like that, but it's blackened. And the McCormick's made it, and it
Yeah.
was the like it they
Yeah, I've had
literally
it. It's good.
they discontinued it. You can't
They
even buy
did.
it anymore. Yeah, I literally went on
What?
Amazon and bought as many as I could. The last summer they sold it.
I used to put that on fish.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And so
Man,
the
wow.
closest thing to that is this Kinder's Rub. And that Kinder's Rub is not as spicy as that one. And when I mean spicy, I'm talking about it's not a heavy pepper flavor.
Right.
The Kinder's doesn't have that strong of a peppered flavor, but it's still close enough. The only other thing that I use is the Xanaran makes their blackened, and it's more heavy on the pepper side than the McCormick. So that one be stronger than McCormick's, but the Kinder's is just like right there with that McCormick's one when it was out. And like I said, I'll put that on my burgers. I'll put that on my steaks. I'll put it on anything that I'm about to eat because that's my profile. That's my flavor. So I'm constantly going through it. I literally at least once a month go through 2 or 3 of the little bottles. You know what I'm saying, when I'm barbecuing. And I've never get any. No one ever complains. No one ever says anything to me. But also too, they understand when they come to my house, I don't cater to nobody else but myself. This is what I like. This is how I eat, and this is my flavor profile. So guess what?
Right.
When you guys leave, I'm still eating this.
They have fast food places for a reason. If you're not happy, go get your own food.
Exactly. But that is like I said, it's the one that's most available to me. And Kinder's is a local barbecue company out here. They literally have the Kinder's barbecue sauce and their own seasonings. And they even sell their own tri blend where you get the pepper, garlic, and salt in their own style of flavor, and that's like usually the one that I'll use over here. That one is it has the texture and taste of like the McCormick's Montreal seasoning, but it has that extra little something that gives that sweetness to it.
I just saw them offer that. I think late last year at Walmart. They have it at a cardboard kiosk type stand thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I've never seen this before.
Oh yeah,
I'm intrigued.
out here, that's name brand. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
There's a Kinder's in almost every other town here. So you could literally pull in there, get a barbecue sandwich, get a ribs. It's a butcher. Every restaurant that they have, it's a butcher, and then it's also like hot food. So they literally just came out with these things. They call them protein cups. So you can get baked beans. Whatever ball tip out here is one of their main things that they cook. So you get the baked beans, ball tip, coleslaw, and then a little bit of peppers on top, and you literally just a cup for like $8, and you literally have all the barbecue in one scoop.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's nice.
Oh yeah,
I got to try this out then.
Oh yeah, no, like I said, and their variety of barbecue sauces are just delicious. You know what I'm saying? Like I like spicy, so the extra hot that they sell is perfect because it has that tang and it has that punch in the mouth. And they just discontinued it, but they used to have this triple X hot sauce. And as soon as you eat it, as soon as that hot sauce would touch your tongue, fire. But they discontinued it because it just not everyone's like that.
Yeah, a bunch of soft people. There's a generation of soft people coming up.
That's it. Can't take some heat.
Golly. But they ghost peppers get popular for like 2 months, and then they're like, "Oh my gosh, my mouth is burning." Yeah.
I'm growing Carolina Reapers right now.
That's man. Wow, talk about it. Wow. So how's that going?
Well, I ordered them. I ordered the seeds a few months ago, and so now they're just barely starting to sprout. And now that they're sprouting, I got them growing. My wife has them growing for me. I'm not growing them; she's growing them because she's the one that does that. And so I got 3 plants growing, and as soon as some of them start popping out, we're gonna start. Well, my wife makes hot sauce. My wife makes spicy jelly. She does all that because we grow jalapenos, habaneros, anchos. Tomatoes, tomato. We got a nice little garden in the back, and so she grows all these peppers. And my wife's so crafty. Like I said, she's made our own personal hot sauces. made her own personal spicy sweet jelly. And you know what I'm saying? She just constantly doing crazy stuff like that. And then she pickles jalapenos and she made this like an onion mix for us. It's just so good.
We're gonna have to talk about a shipping type situation where I try this out.
All right. Well, we can definitely do that.
Sir, wow. Should put that on the market, man.
Well, you know, we always joke about saying we're gonna make Angry Dad hot sauce.
Hey, trademark it before somebody else does. Yes, do that.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
awesome. Speaking of hot sauce, you were trying out Jeff Dunham, which great comedian, by the way.
Great comedian. I've seen him so many times.
Ventriloquist type guy.
Yep.
One of his characters. I forget. It was the Peanut. He was like Dunham.
Yeah, Jeff Dunham. You know? That's it.
Yeah, I didn't know he had a hot sauce out. So you had a video on your YouTube channel, Team Bulman Snack Attack.
That's it. Team Bulman Snack Attack is a show where me and my son and my older son, it was me and him at first, but he's hit that teenage year where he's too cool to like do anything. So my youngest son, he's 9, he's getting ready to be 10 this year. He decided I'm going to take over and he wants to do it. So I'm like, all right. And I always tell my son, my oldest son, I was like, you show me the interest, I'll do this with you. And so my younger son is like, he's ready to do it. So now we're doing, and what I love about him so much is he's not scared. He's like, I'll do it. Like with a brave face, I'll do it. So like we have these hot sauces. We have the Jose Jalapeno, which is your standard jalapeno hot sauce. We had the what's the old guy's name? Walter's hot sauce, and then we had Ahmed's Silent but Deadly. And so and so you got the Jose Jalapeno. Like I said, it's a jalapenos hot sauce. It was delicious. It's something I use on a regular basis. The Walters was, it's got a kick to it. It's a nice little, like, I could put a couple of drops on my taco and I'll be fine.
Okay.
But that Silent but Deadly, oh my God. Talk about fire. And when we did this, we literally got chicken nuggets and we didn't just put drops. No, I coated them. I was like, I put them in bowls. I circled them up so they were deeply, heavily coated in this hot sauce.
They sure were.
Yeah. And let me tell you right now, we ate. Talk about that's probably the third hottest thing I've had so far.
Oh, we're champs.
Okay.
Were your stomach messed up later?
Oh yeah. No, I was complaining. I was like, oh, why do we do this?
Yeah, check out that video. I'll definitely put a link to that in the show notes. That was good. I think y'all were champs because y'all took it. Y'all took it.
Oh yeah. No, we always try to last as long as we can.
That reminds me of a time when I tried the bomb hot sauce, and it was some years back. Oh, I think it was not like it was 30 years ago. I think it was like at 2006 or something like that, maybe earlier than that. And they had it at Firehouse Subs, and on a bet. Stupid co-workers of mine, they were like, hey, I bet you won't try that. And then the workers there, at Firehouse, the people that were working there, they were like, we bet you won't try it either. I'm like, no punk. So I'm like, go ahead, give it to me. So they dipped it in a toothpick. I'm like, man, that's all you gonna give me? It's a toothpick? I'm like, whatever. So I'm dipping this in there like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, oh, I'm good. Put a little bit on my sub too. And they're like, oh, okay, fine. And when I was eating, they were sitting back in the back watching me. I'm like, why are they looking at me before? It's pretty hot sauce. Pretty hot sauce. It's on the Schofield level of like,
millions right there.
Right. So I took it like a champ. I'm like, it's not that bad because I'm used to New Orleans Cajun hot stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. I'm looking for the early burn. That wasn't the case. Later on, about an hour or so later, going back to work because we were on lunch break, I had to come out of my clothes because this thing was trying to come out of my body like one of those alien things was trying to pop out of somebody's stomach. Like, I'm probably gonna die from this.
Oh my god, I've definitely eaten a few things like that. Let me tell you now. Yeah, when you start getting to those crazy, like habanero. I remember habanero was the hottest pepper you can get, and
Yeah,
then all of a sudden there's all these crazy ass peppers and crazy ass hot sauces, and I'm like, oh my god,
you're killing my intestinal tract.
that's it.
The lining of my stomach. You're gonna give me an ulcer.
Easily.
So which one out of the Jeff ones that you like the most? I think you said the Walter the one that you used the most, or which one
Oh
did
well,
you say?
no, the Jose jalapeno.
Jose jalapeno.
Yeah, it's a good jalapeno hot sauce. It's like something you can literally put on your eggs, give you a nice little pep in your step, and good flavor to add to those eggs.
So next time we're gonna have to talk about the battle of the hot sauces.
Oh my god! And I got a stack, bro.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a little panel discussion about this. So I'm tabling that for a chance to where like 3, 4 of us can get together and just debate about it, because there's some strong feelings about hot sauce out there, and
That
there's
there is.
oh man. So we're gonna skip one of the things I got in the show notes because we're running over time. But do you have a few minutes?
Oh yeah, I got all the time in the world for you, brother.
All right. So I mentioned earlier that you're going to have a upcoming movie role, right?
Oh yeah.
Uh, so tell us as much as you can about how this opportunity came about and what your role is.
Well, the role is, and like I said, it's not even guaranteed to be in the movie. It's like they just had me do a little reading, and I had to sign some paperwork and stuff like that. But I'm basically playing angry dad in the podcast, but I'm
As yourself.
as myself,
Okay.
and then talking about a small town murder. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
Whether it's real, whether it's not. The movie's called Unlisted Owner. It's already out. They're getting ready to do a re-release of it. You can literally go on Amazon, look it up. It's called Unlisted Owner. It's a horror movie. I
Ooh,
actually
okay.
I had the director on my show talk about the movie, talk about all this stuff, and we ended up becoming really good friends. He actually introduced me to this company that makes candied jalapenos. Yeah.
That's nice.
Oh, they're delicious.
Oh
But
man.
so me and him always going back and forth. So like he likes to eat hot stuff. I like to eat hot stuff. So he'll send me stuff and I'll send him stuff. And ended up just breaking it down like, hey, I'd really like you to do this extra part for me when we do the re-release. And I was like, no problem. I can definitely do that. But like I said, he's all, there's no guarantees it'll make it into the cut, but it'd be nice. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, and I told him, I was like, I'm down. But you just let me know what I got to do. So, you know what I'm saying? I got maybe about 6 or 7 lines. And next thing you know, maybe I'll be on in a movie or not, or at least a direct to DVD movie. You know what I'm saying? Not the big screen, but the small screen.
Hey man, hey, don't downplay that. That's awesome. That's big. A lot of people don't get that chance to even get that far. People move to Hollywood from
Well,
New York, just
you
drop
know,
out of college. Like, I'm going to be homeless for a while, never make it. But you have a chance to be in a movie. It doesn't matter if it goes straight to streaming. Guess what? A lot of stuff it's just
oh
the
yeah.
Disney movies go straight to streaming. So
Oh yeah. Well, like I said, I thought it was great. I thought it was an honor. He reached out to me, let me know, and I'm like, why would I say no? You know what I'm saying?
exactly, right?
Especially if all I got to do is just be me. It's even easier.
That's the best outcome possible. I mean, you might overthink it maybe, but I mean that is the way that you want to continue with your brand, right?
Oh
You
yeah.
want
Oh yeah.
either you play yourself, they feel that you're important enough to play yourself and not somebody else. That says something. Yeah,
Oh
just
yeah.
think about that after we finish. Just look in the mirror. With like, they want me to play myself. Damn. All right.
Exactly.
You know, you have that type of personality to where they're making a movie and you're not acting as someone else. Man, it's big. Big ups to that. Big ups. Hand
Thank you,
clap,
brother. I
hand clap.
appreciate that. Thank
I
you.
hope
I
we get to
appreciate
see
that.
you in this film. And man, I'm going to repost it everywhere. I'm going to watch it every time. No lie. And my wife is definitely going to want to watch it because it's a horror film. So we're definitely going to see this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. So talk about movies. There's a lot of movies that came out. I know you talk about movies a lot.
Oh yeah.
So, what are the few movies that came up more recently that you've seen? I know that we chatted briefly about Fast Nine. I haven't seen it yet. So yeah, I, and some other movies came out too, like Black Widow. I don't know if you
Oh
saw
yeah.
Black Widow
No,
or
I
not.
haven't seen Black Widow yet, but I did watch Space Jams with my kids,
Oh, that was awesome.
and it was, and the people are giving it shit. You can't give it shit. It's its own rendition of the movie. They make a lot of references to the
Right.
first Space Jams,
Which
but
was
the
shit
thing,
too.
yeah, but it,
You
but
know,
it
it's
was still
supposed to be.
a hit. It was still a hit.
It's
You know what
supposed
I'm
to be
saying?
shit.
Yeah. If MJ is not an actor,
No.
you know what I'm saying? He was stiff in the movie, but you know what? LeBron the same way. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And on top of that too, he really just did a lot of voice acting because the majority of the movie he was a cartoon.
You know, did it? Okay, so the first 20 minutes of it, he's himself.
Yeah.
But when he cuts over to being animated, was it just me or does it feel like the way that they did his animated facial expressions that perfectly matches how his inflection points were when he was reading his lines?
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, you just need to maybe he needs to have reverse Botox, something to loosen up his face because he can almost be a comedian if he has the facial expressions to match what he's actually saying.
I'm telling you. And like I said, I watched it, and you know what I'm saying? The only thing that I didn't like about it that was the non-selling point was when he was a cartoon, it was a little convenient that he knew what to do. You know what I'm saying?
All
So he's
right.
gonna blow his
Yeah.
legs up, he's gonna pop, get himself all popped up. And I was like,
Yeah.
besides that, you know what I'm saying? After that, you're just nitpicking. But it
Right.
was a great movie. I enjoyed it. It hit home. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And when you can start getting up in age, all of a sudden sappy movies and sappy parts start making you feel all emotional. You know what I'm saying? So it's always good to have those movies like that. I liked it. All my kids liked it. You know what I'm saying? Everyone, we
That was the
literally
point.
all sat down and watched. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing a lot of people lose sight on is when you watch a movie, and especially when you're streaming at home,
Yep.
if no one's on their phone, everyone's concentrated on the movie. Well, guess the fuck what? That movie did its job. That movie hit
Yes.
it home because look at no one was fumbling with their phones. We're all sitting there watching the movie. We're all sitting there eating popcorn, bullshitting with each other and laughing, pointing stuff
Right.
out. That right there is the experience. That's one of the reasons I love going to the movies. That's one of the reasons, like, my teenagers,
Mhm.
my oldest is out of the house, but my teenagers, they're like, oh no, I don't want to hang out with you. But when my youngest son is like, Dad, I'll watch a movie with you, and then me and him watch a movie, we can literally just sit there and just enjoy that time together. That's the purpose of movies. You know what I'm saying? That's the purpose of
I
Space
agree.
Jams.
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to intentionally be corny
Yeah.
and for kids. Don Cheadle did a pretty good job.
I was just about to say that. I was like, you must have read my mind. Because Don Cheadle is great.
But in general, the first 20 minutes, they could have made it a 5. I would have been fine with that. After that, after LeBron gets animated, I mean, it just progressively gets better.
Oh yeah, that it did.
Yeah. What other movies did you see recently?
I didn't see. I'm getting ready to do your dad's action movie podcast. I just rewatched The Condemned and then The Condemned 2. I am a Stone Cold fan, and I love wrestling.
Those movies.
Yeah. So the first one was Stone Cold, second one was Randy Orton, and I just rewatched them, and I'm like, still hold up, still good. Stone Cold Steve Austin will still be one of my favorite wrestlers. Randy Orton does a way better role in his part of Condemned. Steve's still stiff. I've been on a Stone Cold Steve Austin kick right now, so I've watched Condemned, the Hard Hunt. There's a few Stone Cold movies out there on Amazon Prime that I just rewatched. I'm like, those are great. But what I did watch,
there's one. What was that one that he played the bad guy with Sylvester Stallone?
Oh yeah, Expendables.
Expendables, the first one. Yes.
Yeah,
he was good in that one.
Yeah, he was good in that one.
Yeah.
And then I just rewatched He-Man I just watched He-Man last night on Netflix, and I got strong opinions on it. But
All right, let's talk about it,
all right,
please.
all right.
Because I've watched 2 episodes and I stopped. I'm like, I'm not doing it.
All right, well, here, let me tell you right now. First episode goes hard.
Yes.
Hard in the paint. First episode, that is exactly what I see.
Yes.
But as it goes on, it's transitioning into He-Man. He-Man, this is just going to be off the lore that I know and the lore that I see. He-Man was a chosen hero to defend Eternia.
Yep.
And so every time the chosen one dies, it is moved on to the next. And so after watching all 5 of these episodes and just with the little Easter eggs that's dropped in there, Teela is going to be He-Man. And she's going to be, she can either go into She-Ra or she's just going to be known as the champion, because that's what they keep calling He-Man. They keep calling He-Man the chosen one, the champion. So this could easily be switching into that. There's a lot of girl power in this movie just off the episodes that I've seen. But the thing is they animated it right. This is an American anime on that level. This is new graphics, new designs, new techniques. The storytelling. Oh yeah, it looks it's amazing. Yeah. But the thing is I wanted more He-Man. I don't know where this is going to go, because after the first episode, a lot happens, but there's so much buildup of Teela's character that when it gets to the final scene in season 5, you don't know what's going to happen. Like it literally, like there's so many things that transition. Once you get all the way from the episode you've seen till you get to the 5th episode, that 5th episode sets the marker so high for the next season, for the next whatever amount of episodes, or if they're going to do 5-episode release here, then do another 5-episode, and then it's going to be the next season, or if it's 5 episodes per season, whatever happens after that 5th episode, that once you get to it, I'm not going to spoil it because I hate people that spoil shit.
Right.
But if you get to that 5th episode, you don't know what's going to happen or what's happening next. There's too much buildup.
You know what?
What just happened that you're like, holy shit, what the fuck is happening next? This needs to come out now. They left it on such a cliffhanger.
Yes.
What do you do?
Well,
what do you do?
Let me tell you. So the first episode, like you said, super badass.
Oh yeah.
To the point where I call one of my best friends in the middle of the episode. Well, when they really started, like the He-Man and Skeletor were about to really go at it, I paused it. I'm like, hey, bro, I gotta call Harry. So I called him. I was like, hey man, have you seen Masters of the Universe? He was like, yeah. And then he had like a kind of depressing tone when he was saying it. He was like, well, I watched a few, and it was just kind of in a way of lower your expectations.
Yeah.
But finished the episode despite that, still had hope. Yeah. And I'm like, whoa, this is one of the hardest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
He-Man, whoa, they had Cringer, they had Orko, they had Man at Arms. Original. Everything was looking great. The transition that Adam had to He-Man, I was like, super dope. I lost my shit. I kept pausing to the point my wife was like, are you just gonna play it or what? And I was so excited. I was on 12 until the night after watching the 2nd episode, and I realized, wait a minute, something's odd here. Woke up the next morning and I sent a text to Harry. I'm like, hey, why do I feel like I'm watching Transformers 2 and they killed Optimus Prime early and he really didn't come back to the last moment in the damn movie? Is this gonna be like that? He didn't tell me, but I'm like, you know what? Let me go read the description. So I read every description of all 5 episodes because I only made it to the end of 2. And I'm like, wait a minute, there's no mention of He-Man or Adam anywhere in this. So I read the series description, at least for this season. I'm like, there's no mention of He-Man anywhere in this thing.
Like I said.
And I looked at the title. I'm like, where's He-Man at?
That's what I'm saying. It's like like once the first two, like I said, once the first two episodes hit, it was just basically I'm just powering through. I'm just kind of just watching it now. It's
Right.
like there's got to be filler no matter what cartoon you're watching. But you know
Absolutely.
what though? That filler is action packed.
Yeah.
It sets characters' marks. It sets characters' traits. It makes you get the connection that you need for these characters. But then once you get to that fifth episode, that's that next level. That
Okay.
fifth
I'll
episode
watch.
is
I'll
what's
finish
good.
watching it then.
Like I said, yeah, finish watching it. You know what I'm saying? Text me
I'll
and then
try.
let me know.
All
Because
right.
like I said, when that fifth episode hits and that it ends, it's like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Okay. All right. I like cliffhangers.
Oh yeah, now trust me, it gives you that cliffhanger.
There's
It
a
gives
part
you
of me that kind of is like, I've seen this before, kind of like with the Voltron series.
oh
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I've
Oh yeah.
seen like I've been disappointed. Um, as much as I like some Transformers stuff, the last iteration of the Transformers series, and it's like a multiple part series. I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know if I'm feeling it. Even though I'm like, I know where they're kind of going, but I don't know if I'm really feeling it because they don't even have the original Optimus Prime's voice. That makes a difference.
Yeah, it does.
Um, and I'm like, a part of me is like hearing what you're saying, and like, I'll give it a chance. It's only 3 more episodes, and
Yeah.
it's 30 minutes. It's not going to ruin my life or take up enough time or take the whole day. And the other part of me is like, you know what?
It's worth it. It's worth
Yeah,
it. Trust
but
me.
I'm
It's
like, you
trust
know
me.
what? Maybe I should wait till they have a commitment that He-Man is actually coming back before I put, because look, I I'm all about um the women's movement. I'm not a misogynistic dude. I'm not
Yeah.
that.
No, we're
Never
not
have
saying
been
yeah.
progressive. You have to preface everything like that in this cancel culture age. But I'm like, so I'm here for He-Man though.
Oh yeah.
It's great if she turns into She-Ra or the next version of He-Man, because they're doing that stuff with like Captain America and a certain version of the Marvel comics. They're turning. It's fine. It's
Oh yeah.
fine.
Like
But
I said, man, you just with all that being said,
they promoted it with He-Man. I'm just saying
they
it might have been a bait and switch. The
uh,
main promotion was with He-Man. That's all
oh
I'm
yeah.
saying.
I'm telling you, like I said, when you get to that fifth episode, it's a completely different tone. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
All right.
It leaves you with not knowing what's happening to somebody,
Okay.
and it doesn't let you know what happened to somebody.
That's true. All right.
It's
Okay.
like trust me, trust. I powered
I'll
through
try.
it, and at that I was sitting there in my last night, sitting on my couch. And I'm like, what just happened?
I'll give it a try. I'll give it a try. But I don't know. I've been burned. I've been burned a few
And so,
times with these
am
remakes.
I. Because
Ugh,
of the TV show Lost, I don't watch sitcoms anymore.
ugh, yeah. I refuse to watch some remakes. Saved by the Bell. I'm a big Saved by the Bell fan. Not doing that.
Not doing
Sorry,
that.
they're
It'd be
too
like
old
that.
now.
It'd be like that.
Just let that go.
Yeah, exactly. I just saw an ad yesterday for the new Transformers that they're getting ready to release on Netflix.
The second part of it should be the second part of what they started last year. Again, I don't know. I'm still.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see
We'll
then,
have
because
to
that
wait. The one that they did in man, I think it was either 2012 or 2013. It was Transformers Prime. They
yeah.
had that on Netflix. That was super awesome.
Well,
That
see,
was almost better. I'm gonna get
oh
hate
yeah,
mail
it
for
is.
this, but it was almost on par, or maybe a little bit better if you like how they did the acting with it than the original series.
Yeah.
It was nice. I'm telling you. Yeah, I would. Just like the He-Man series that came out in the early 2000s, that was booty. That was terrible. That came on a Cartoon Network. I remember that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was awful. Yeah, I have high hopes for this one. I'll give it a try. I'll give it a try, man.
That's it. Telling
All right. I don't know.
you.
I don't know. Did you ever see? and we'll close up in a few minutes here. But did you ever see the Tomorrow War?
I didn't get a chance to watch it. It was on my list. July is busy for us over here because we got like 8 or 5, 6 birthdays, and then so it's like
Oh
every
yeah,
weekend we
everybody's a
say
Leo
exactly.
or a Cancer. You know, Jesus. Yeah, yeah. Well, tell me how you like that movie or dislike it.
No, I
You know,
definitely will.
I
It's
think
on my
you'll
list.
like it based on the conversation that we had about action movies in the past. And like, man, shit's blowing up.
Oh yeah,
It's supposed to be kind of cliche.
that's
There's
what I
also a Mark
love.
Wahlberg movie too called
Oh
Infinite.
yeah, yeah. I think that I thought I saw an ad for it.
Yeah, it's on Paramount
Yeah,
Plus.
yeah.
Yet another streaming platform.
You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, any remarks of Fast Nine? I haven't seen it, but any non spoilers? Well, you mean you can spoil it because other
Well,
people have probably seen it. I don't care.
yeah, no, a lot of people say, but like I said, once again, it's still out early enough. I won't spoil it. But the thing is it's what I love about it is, and the what I love about it is you can see the transition from reality based racing to fantasy based racing,
Oh, hell
and so
yeah!
it's almost getting this transition of Speed Racer,
Ooh,
and that's what I love because it's so outlandish that it makes it like in their world it's real. You know what I'm saying? Because there's the thing, you can make something look real and then you can
right,
make something look hokey, but the thing
right,
is because of the way they act and the way they are, and comic relief, action
perfect.
hero, stoic,
Yeah.
in their reality this is an everyday thing. And so that's what I love
Yes.
about it so much, because no one breaks character. Like, they
No,
question it, but at the same time, they're questioning it in a funny way where they're like, "Man, yeah, I never thought about that." You know what I mean?
I remember back of this is the ninth movie. Technically, is it the ninth movie or maybe is it 10? Did it count one as being in the sequence?
I don't know
Ah,
if it did or not.
Tokyo Drift. Like, did they count that one? I don't know.
I think they don't count it because it's not it's not fast anything. It's just Tokyo Drift. But
Right.
Tokyo Drift is one of my favorite ones because that was some serious driving in that movie.
Yeah, that was the only thing that was good about that movie. Not
I,
Bow
I got
Wow,
I, I
not the
got
main character.
I
No.
got the model of that Monte Carlo that guy was driving in that car. I got it up on
Oh, really?
my mantle in the main room.
Oh man. If they remake any of the movies in that franchise, they probably should remake that one. I'm just saying, keep the
Eh,
same driver sequence. I don't know. I don't know. Just don't put Bow Wow in the movie.
well,
Just don't.
putting rappers in the movie is the way, especially with Bow Wow, it's getting the touch of the kids. You know what I'm saying? For the popularity he had at the time, that's what made people see that movie.
Ugh. Yeah, some people didn't come back though.
And it'd be like that too.
Yeah, right. They took a gamble. It worked out with Ludacris.
Yeah,
Yeah, they got lucky with that one.
big time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I haven't seen it. Everybody spoiled it on the social media. They went to space. You
Oh
know,
yeah. Right off top, they did. You know what I'm saying? But they did it in style in a Pontiac Fiero.
and they did it before Richard Branson.
You know what I'm saying?
you know,
Exactly.
you know? That's crazy people. Yes, that's awesome. I'm waiting for it to come on streaming platform.
Which it should be soon. I don't understand why it just didn't come to a streaming platform right away. You know what I'm saying? Like it should, one of the companies, like whoever produces it, like it was not Paramount, but like whatever other streaming platform they have for movies, they should already have had that
Yeah.
lined up. You know what I'm saying? Or at least like you got to pay, like how Disney Plus does. You pay the extra fee and you watch it for $30. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's reasonable because between two adult tickets in large movie format like Dolby Cinema or
Oh yeah,
IMAX, you're probably going to pay around that anyway, minus the whole concession stuff.
yeah, exactly. You know
And
what I'm
I
saying?
can see that's fair. I
Yeah.
don't expect everything to be coming to me included with the subscription like HBO Max does. that's fine. But
Yeah.
give people choice like Disney does.
Yeah.
That's a good balance. You
Yeah.
know,
No, it is.
some are being pretentious, and it's probably the same studio. I'm pretty sure it's the same studio that has the James Bond thing held hostage somewhere.
Oh yeah.
No, give us James Bond, damn it. Amazon is trying to buy MGM,
Oh yeah.
so give us James Bond, please.
I'm telling you, and that's one of those things too. Is like, I redid my house. I bought myself extremely good TVs,
Yep.
great surround sound, because I was like, I just like to watch movies, and also I'm a big UFC boxing fan. So when
Oh,
I'm watching fights, I like it all full through. So it ended up working out where like my living room setup's like literally a theater setup now.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? So like when we just watch these movies at the house, it's like not that theater feel.
Yeah. And none of the negative theater feel like
Exactly.
some
People's
people are
bullshit.
walking. I was just telling my friend last week when we were off subject, but I was at the movie theater a long time ago, and we pay a lot of money for these movie tickets. And I was sitting there, and this guy and his son were behind us and just making a whole bunch of damn noise to the point where I had to get angry black man on them. And I'm like, "Hey man, what's up?" I'm not trying to throw fisticuffs, but God, you can't be doing that. They had to move. I didn't make them move, but it
But
just
hey,
got
that's just how
uncomfortable.
it
I
goes.
wasn't gonna move.
Yeah. I was all, first of all, there's a certain amount of a level of respect when you go into movie theaters. Guess what? Be quiet, enjoy
Exactly.
the movie. Those are the
Damn it.
rules.
Yes. The only two rules you have to abide by.
Yeah.
If you do shenanigans in the back, I'm not looking back there.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
whole thing about fornication and
Yeah.
the yeah,
Hey,
do
I
fine.
sit
Do
where
that
I
in the
sit
corner.
because I
That's fine.
understand.
Whatever.
Exactly.
Do whatever. You can sneak food in. I'm not the police. I don't
That's
care.
it.
As long as you shut the fuck up and and at least if you know you have to pee a lot, if you have a weak bladder,
Yeah.
sit on the end of the goddamn aisle.
Exactly. Exactly. You know, the
We
only
don't
thing
have
is,
that problem at home, do we?
nah. Well, you know what we have, there's a number of movie theaters out there. Over here next to the house, we have Century. That's usually the one I usually go to, but there's one closer to my house called Brendan Theaters.
Mhm.
And the first movie I went to see as soon as we can go back to movies is I took my daughter to go see Demon Slayer. And I waited for the English version because I told her I'm not watching dub. And so we go down to the
My wife
theaters.
hates dubbed.
Me too. Uh, and and so we go down to the theaters, and like the one thing I was looking forward to this whole time being off the pandemic, it was going to the movies to get because like I get my own large popcorn, and then I'll get the kids their popcorn. You guys, I don't fucking share. And so,
No
I get
judgment.
exactly. So I got my large popcorn, and I tell the guy, I was like, I want a Coke. Like, I love Coke Zero, so I want a large Coke Zero. And he's like, we don't have Coke Zero. I'm like, well, then just give me a regular Coke. He's all, we don't have Coke. I'm like, are you fuck? And so I look down at the thing,
Yeah,
it's
Pepsi.
all Pepsi. And I'm
Yeah,
like, are you
Pepsi.
fucking serious?
Yeah.
When did this fucking happen? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh man, yeah. I know because I live in Atlanta and it's the headquarters for Coca-Cola. You're not finding a Pepsi machine unless you are on like
yeah.
a way outskirt.
And it's crazy because like
Yeah.
I came home and I told my wife how pissed off I was. I was like, I enjoyed the movie, but I didn't get to enjoy a Coke, and so because I ended up just getting like a Sierra Mist, I refused to drink
Ah,
Pepsi. And
sorry.
so I told so now we drive the extra few minutes to the Century Theater where they have Coke Zero, and I'm like that we no longer go to the theater. They're dead to me.
Yeah, that makes a difference.
It does
I
make a difference.
I'm telling you, I will literally. I think that's the reason why we picked the theaters that we picked as well. I didn't even notice that, to be
Yeah,
honest.
well, yeah, that's just how it goes. So like I'm going because everything I want is here now. So this is it.
Like, like if they have Coke products, um, damn it, they would have Dasani, right?
Yeah.
And versus Aquafina.
Yep.
I don't like Aquafina.
Yeah. Neither
Yeah,
do I.
and I drink water. I just drink water. I got away from soda. But
Yeah.
I tell you, there's something. Over the years, and I switched because when I was younger, I drink nothing but Aquafina.
Yeah.
Then I switched over. I'm like, oh, Dasani. All right, they must put crack in here or something because
Oh yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
why I like this water so much. But yeah,
I,
make a break. Yeah, Fanta versus Crush.
I'm
Or
Fanta. I'm Fanta. But hey, let me tell you something right now, though. There is a difference between Mexican Coke and Mexican Coke products and American Coke products.
it's more sugary, isn't it?
Oh, wait, it's not more sugar. It's real sugar.
Real sugar.
So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
so the taste is to that next level. So like
Yeah.
I'm down over here in
Cane
California, so
sugar.
yeah, exactly. And we always have that option. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but I do drink Coke Zero because I just got to stay away from sugar products, and I don't care about all the chemicals. And people say it's still good. I like Coke Zero.
Yeah, it's
That's
so
just
good.
the
My
way I
wife drinks
drink.
that all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just that's my go-to, and
I had to
it's
go
the
get some last
closest
night.
thing. Hey, let me tell you right now, it's the closest thing you can get to a real Coke without all the the extra shit. You know what
You
I'm
like the
saying?
cherry Coke Zero?
Oh, let me tell you right now. We just bought a small case of cherry vanilla Coke Zero.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's like
and
a
then
wow,
telling you,
next level.
my wife,
Cream
her
soda.
favorite is the orange vanilla Coke Zero.
I didn't know that they make that.
Oh
Wow.
yeah, yeah. It's
Damn.
like I said, they got some good
Oh,
flavors in the
I
Coke
lie.
Zero.
I lie. I lie. I did know that they make that. Back when I used to go out in the world, since it's been so long ago.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have it where you're at, but I don't see it everywhere. But they have these Coke remix machines. It's a big
Oh yeah.
ass
Oh
red
yeah.
machine,
Oh yeah.
and you
No, we
could
got
just
them in the
press
fast
any
food
button,
restaurants.
dude.
Yeah, you can make
How
any
much?
flavor.
The first time you did use that, how long did it take you to decide what the hell you wanted? I know I saw it at a Fuddruckers one time, and there's not many Fuddruckers out here, but it's a very
Yeah.
nice gourmet burger
Oh yeah, yeah.
place.
No, we got one down here in the house. I got a
Oh
record of
man,
two. I've eaten 2 pound, 2 1 pound burgers.
I love that place. But how long did you stand there like you felt like you're in a candy store for the first time, right?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you right now, and this is how simple I am because it's Coke Zero, cherry Coke Zero. Those are my two go tos. No matter where I go or what the first time I
Yep.
go to a restaurant, you got Coke Zero? No, just give me a Diet Coke, or like they got
Yeah.
give me Coke Zero. But when they have those machines there, where I'm pouring myself cherry, like I said, I get the cherry Coke Zero and a conversation for me.
I love it. I love it, man. All right, so let's wrap up. We've been talking for a while. Good conversation here. I want you to tell people what's up with you in the podcast world and where to find you on the social medias.
Well, I'm the angry motherfucking dad. You want to watch my shit? IGTV, YouTube. You want to listen to it? Spreaker, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, SoundCloud, Deezer, iHeartRadio. My shit is everywhere. You can easily fucking find it. Rate, review, like, subscribe. And you know what? Thank you for having me on.
Oh man, thank you. I hope you come back and you're probably gonna be in the Hall of Fame of guests because when we get together and talk, it's all East Coast, West Coast love, brother.
That's it. That's
Talking
it. You know what I'm saying?
cross the beef, man.
That's it.
But grill the
Cross the
beef.
beef by talking with beef.
Awesome. Stay on. I'm shutting this stream down. Thank you for joining the live show of the Backyard Pitmaster podcast, everyone. I hope you have a blessed and highly favored Sunday and the rest of the work week. Hey, remember, if you see somebody grilling, make sure they're doing it right so they are not the butt of the Facebook group joke. You know what I'm saying? All love. Stay safe out there.